Okay, guys, so let's do task three now. Okay, database and data should be imported in the format of DMY as usual. This is a UK format using a database software which is Microsoft Access. Import the file students as a new table, and when we import it, we need to double check and make sure that we are following the following data types and later the following displays. Okay. So how can we do this? First of all, you need to create a database, an empty one. So you go new and then you launch your access. I'll call it 2024 W02, just like the paper. Any name you can use, of course, it doesn't matter. What matter is we import our first table. Now to import the first table, remember you go external data, new from file, and then it's a text file. Okay, it's always a text file. And then you browse, and then you go inside your folder or working area, and you will find the file students, just like they said. Okay, it's always delimited. We never change this one. You go next, and most of the time, 99%, the first row contain your field names, as you can see here, and the rest are just records. So you tick here and double check, always double check, go advanced and double check it's a DMY, because if you have a date format, it should be DMY, not MDY. Okay, otherwise you are getting an error. All right, so far good. And then you go next, and then we follow this. So all of them are text until we get into DOB. So I'll click here, make sure it's a text, click here, text, 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 until I get into DOB, which should be date and time, and later we'll specify the specific date and time that are written here after we finish importing the table. Okay, so just remember we come back here again. And then roll number should be text, text, age underscore oct 24 should be number, and it should be integer. So again, this is text. Telephone is always text. Remember, this is a trick. Telephone is always text. And if I go to the right, age it should be integer, not a long integer. Smaller space in the RAM. And email should be text. So email, I'll leave it as a text, and then we can safely go next. Do we have a primary key, a unique field, a unique identifier? Yes, we have it, which is roll underscore number. So I'll choose my own, and then I will choose the roll underscore number, which is the primary key for this table. And we are done. Now the table is good. Make sure that you have one table here. If you have one table to the left, that means there is no error. Immediately we open the table and we go design view. Why we go design view? Because we need to double check that the date is DDMMM and two Y's, or this is what we call medium date. So I'll just copy it, go into my date, and then click on the format down there and make sure that I'll just paste the format here. I will save and double click and make sure that it displayed in the format they needed, which is 16 March, for example, 02, just like the example they've done here. Nothing else to do. Integer is always integers. There is nothing to do here. So I'll just save my data and place an evidence to show the field name, data type, and primary key. And to do so, I need to go design view, and you take a screenshot of all the field like this. So you need first of all the table name, the field names, and the data type, and you place it in your evidence. So I have an evidence, ready evidence here. Okay, we don't have ready evidence, so just create an evidence, and this is step number 14. Later you can change the evidence name and put the headers in the evidence. So I'm just going to put here this evidence quickly. So evidence number 14, and I'll place my table. Make sure that it's not too big and it's not too small. Okay, not too big and it's not too small. All right, now next, another table with the name degree, the same thing. Let's repeat it. So first I'm going to delete to close this table, and then go external data, data from file. I remember it's always a text file, and browse, and this time we're targeting degrees. Okay, always delimited. Most of the time first row contain field names. Make sure from the advanced that it's a DMY as usual, and then we should follow these data types. Okay, so I'm going to go next, and then I'm going to follow them all. Number except the level should be integer. So all text, 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 and the level should be an integer, not a long integer. And I'll go to the right now, and all text up to duration, and it should be decimal. Whenever they say decimal, it should be double. So all text until duration, it's a double, and later on you can specify the number of decimal places, like here for example. So we'll come back here again. Work underscore exp should be logic and should be displayed as yes no, so I'll just put it from here as yes no, and after I finish the table we'll double check that it is displayed as yes no. Okay, so you go next. Do we have a primary key? It's a subject code, so we select our own primary key and it will be the subject code when you find it, and it is the subject code. And finish it up. Immediately remember, whenever you finish the table, never go anywhere. You just right click and you go design view, and you double check these. Integer, we don't have to do anything here. Duration should be double but one decimal places, and by default uh, the decimal places here of the double are 2. Okay, so if I would like to make it one decimal places, I need to format it as fixed. So I'm telling the computer, please follow the decimal places I'm doing. So always make sure that it's double, fixed, and 1. And boolean should be logic and it should be displayed as yes and no. So I'll double check that the boolean here from the format of this field as well is displayed as yes and no. And I'll even go to the lookup. Remember to make sure that it's a yes and no checkbox. No good. We need to change it into a text box, and then I will save, go back again, and double check that everything works fine. So it looks nice. Okay, so everything is good, and I can safely go back again to see whether I need a screenshot. Yes, we need a screenshot, and this is the same evidence, so I'm going to place a screenshot here. So let's do a screenshot and put it in the evidence like this, and again, not too big, not too small, something acceptable only. What else? Number 15, it says that create one-to-many relationship between the subject code in the degree table and the course code in the student's table. So now we need to link these two tables together, subject code and the course code. And to do it, I need to close this table, go database tools, and we have the relationship here. The tables are on the right side. Double click, they appear, and we follow. It should be subject code with course code. So where is subject code? It's a primary, and always the second one is a foreign. So it's always one to many. One of them has to be a primary field, and the other has to be a foreign field or not a primary field. Okay, so I'll just subject code with course code, isn't it? Subject code and course code, and see, relationship is one to many. And while I'm here, I'm going to take my relationship evidence and I will click create. Okay, and I'll just close it. Do we need evidence? Yes, we need an evidence here, and I've already taken the evidence. This is step number 15. So I'll type here step 15 evidence. Okay, and I will just place my evidence, make sure that it's not too big and it's not too small. And whenever you have it like this, it's better always to make sure that your evidence is clean and nice. I'll just place it down there, and I'll fix this spelling mistake here, and this is it. Okay, number 16, now we need to create a tabular report. And remember, to create a report, we need to create a query first, because we need to make sure that only these selection criteria are there. And to create a query, we can either use all the field from all the tables we have, the two tables we have, or we can use the same field later needed in the report. Remember, this part is needed in the query and in the report, because these are the fields that should be sent to the report later. So I'll use the same field here in my query. Okay. So how to do a query? This is the question. And to do a query, you go create, and then you go query wizard to help you one by one, window by window, and then okay. And let's send them. We need the first name, last name, DOB. So let's go to the student table, first name, last name, DOB, and telephone age October, telephone age, and we have duration, degree code. Do we have them here? In the other table, duration and degree code, and we do have subject and work exp, subject and work exp. So all of these are actually needed later in the report, but to make it simpler for me, to make a simpler query, I'll just use them in the query as well. Okay, so now finish it up and go immediately where design view to filter the data now. Okay, because we need specific things. First of all, what we need here, we need that subject code should include the text organic. Where is it? Yes, I do have it here. So just under criteria, I will type it between stars and I will run it and double check where is the subject. All of the subject should include the text organic. As you can see here, part of the text only is organic, and that's why I put it between stars, because I know that part of the text only should have organic. And age oct 25 24 should be 25 or more. Where is age? 25 or more, so greater than or equal 25, and run it again. Double check that it is greater than or equal 25. Nothing is less than 25. Always double check one by one. So if you have a problem, you can identify the problem. Now the query is done for now. The rest can be whenever they say sorting, page orientations, and these kind of steps here, all of them are in the report, because in the query we can just filter or add a new field, and we don't have a field here to add, so the rest should be in the report. So just save your query, immediately create, and as usual for simplicity we go report wizard. Okay, and whenever we are creating a report, we always take the field from the query, never create a report from the tables. Otherwise, we wasted our time selecting these criteria. So, and remember that we send the same field here in the query and we need them in the report. So I'll just send them to the right, all of them. Make sure that they are in the same order. Go next and double check that there is no grouping, meaning you don't have them like in two boxes like this. Okay, make sure that everything is in one box, no grouping in there. Next, next, ascending, descending, sorting, we always do it from inside. We never do the sorting from here because we have level of sorting. Okay, so always remember, sorting we do it later, but orientation we can do it here. So let's check whether we have orientation here. It should be a landscape. Okay, and this one we skipped, so this one will come back to it again later. This one. Okay, we'll do it after we finish the report. And it should be now, as we said, it should be a landscape. So I'm going to change it into a landscape. Next, do we have a report title? Yes, include the title. So we can do it here or we can do it later, but let's do it here while we're here. So this will be the report title, and we finish the report, and this is your report. Okay, once we do the report, we need to get rid of these hashtags. We need to make sure that everything is visible, all the field names and the data visible. So we go where? Layout view, and immediately from here I'll just make sure that everything has the needed space. I'll push these a little bit to the left. Okay, and make sure that they all appear. Yes, and I will push these as well. Hold control, drag using the arrow to the left like this. Make sure that they take less space. Okay, and same goes for this. So drag to the left and make sure that they have less space. Okay, okay, so all of them now appears. Okay, let's continue. Okay, and include. Yes, and remember the sorting. We go back again into the sorting. The sorting should be descending order of degree code and ascending order of age. So first degree and then age. And if you are in the layout view, you have the group and sort here. So I'll click, add a sort. First level should be what? Degree code, and it should be descending. So the first level should be degree code and should be descending. Descending means Z on top. And the second one, it should be age oct 24, and it should be ascending. So I will add another one, age, and it should be ascending from smallest to largest. So as you can see here, whenever we do it from inside the report, we can have levels. So it will be sorted by this one. If there is a conflict, it will be sorted by this one. Okay, so landscape orientation, I've done it. Fit on a single page, print on two pages only. We'll check this later. We have included already the title, as you can see here. and it should be on a larger font size, fully visible, centered within the margins at the top of the page. So let's just make sure that it's center aligned, because now it's not centered to the margins, as you can see here. So to make it center, I just drag this box here, make sure that this box goes to the end of the report, and from the format there I can just make it center, and it's already in a bigger font. Okay, so now it is center aligned within the report. Okay, what else? Uses a calculated control to display at the end of the report only the age of the oldest students from age up 25, 24. So we need the oldest students' age. And whenever you need the oldest age, that means you are going actually to select maximum, because whenever you say maximum, you'll get the oldest number here. Okay, so select maximum, and of course we need to label it. This is the age of the oldest students, so I'm going to right click, select caption, and I'm going to change the caption name to the caption I need now, and that's it. To the left, to the left. Has your name, center number, and candidate number in the footer of the report, so it appear in the same position every day. Whenever they say in the same position every page, that means you do it normally in the page footer. So I'll go design view. I have two footers here. I have the page footer and I have the report footer. The report footer, as you can see, the equation appears here. This is the formula I've used, the maximum. But to do it, so it appears in each and every page, we do it where under page footer. So I'll make sure that I will include a new caption here or a new label, and I will drag it here. And your name, center number, and candidate number. Okay. Save the report, save and print your report. Of course, you'll print it using the printer that you have in the exam. For now, I'm just going to print it as a local file. So print Microsoft PDF. All right, I will select my folder and I will call it report one. So I'm printing it just like a PDF file. So, okay, what do we need now? Place in the evidence document a screenshot showing the database formula used to display the age of the oldest. So we need actually to put the formulas, and this is question number 16. So we need the evidence of the formula, and to do so, you need to go design view, and remember that this is the formula we're using. So I'm going to copy the formula and place it in evidence 16. Okay, so evidence 16, and this is the formula I'm using. Don't make it too big, not neither too small, just make sure that it's working fine. Okay, what else? And that's it for this report. Okay, so now we are going to create a data entry form, and this form will contain a drop down menu where the user will select options. Data should be selected and stored in a specific field in the students table. So question number 17, let's create the form using selected field from the students table, and these are the field that we should select. Now, how we do a form here? Now, first of all, you go create. Let's close these first. Make sure that we close the query and the report, and then let's go create. And this time I'm going to go for form wizard. Okay, and the field that I should include the roll number, first name, last name, and gender, and all of them from the students table. So let's open the student table and let's go for roll number and first name, last name, first name, last name, gender, DOB, and we have the gender, and we have the DOB, telephone and email, and we have telephone and we have email. Okay, and next, it's always a column, next, and finish it up. So this is your form now. Save the form, place an evidence screenshot showing that the forms with a record from the table, and this is step number 17. So I'm just going to take a screenshot of the form like this, then I will place it there under evidence 17, and this is your form. Just make sure that it's not too big and it's not too small. Okay, this is your form now. Next, import the country code table now, and we need to set the ISA code as the primary key. Okay, so we need to import another table now. Let's import the table. So I'll go external, new from file, text file, browse, and the name of the table is country underscore code. So country underscore code, next, next, always, most of the time, tick, double check, it's a DMY. Move on, these are a couple of them. So this one is a text, this one is a text, and this one looks like an integer. So I'm just going to make it an integer here. Next, do we need a primary key? Do we need a primary key? Let's check, and it should be, the primary key should be ISA code. Okay, so let's select the ISA code here, add the primary key, and now we have a new table. Nothing to do in the table design view, so I'll just leave the table here. Okay, on the form created on step 17, create a new control using a drop-down menu which lists each ISO code from the country code table. That means we need to get the ID code from the country code table as drop-down menu, and we need to place it between the DOB and the telephone fields. So we need to go design view of this form, give a space between the DOB and the telephone, and we're going to import a new field as a drop down menu, which is the combo box here, and I'll draw it here, and I will get it from there. See, I will get it from the other table because I have a couple of options. So I can type the drop down menu items, or I can get it from another table. So let's get it from the other table. Next, and the table is country code, and it should be the ISO. Okay, and double check always whenever you go next and next that there is no duplication. It should always be a primary key, as you can see here. No duplication between the codes, so the user can easily select one of these code later. Okay, and we store it where, which is important. The list displayed in ascending alphabetical order. The list displayed unique values, so we need to make sure that the list is alphabetical order, so ascending. Okay, yes, from A. And the list display unique values only. Yes, the ISO code is actually a primary key. Data entry is limited to only these kind of codes. We'll do this later. Remember, we're coming to this later. The ISO code select is stored in the nationality field in the student table. That's it. So whenever they say where you store it in the nationality field here. Okay, and we need to name it country code. Okay, so I'll go next, and I'm going to name it country code, finish it up, and make sure that they have the same alignment and formatting. So I'll push this to the left here, and here we are. Now remember that we need first of all to make sure that this is limited only to these codes. So to do so, to make sure that it's limited to these codes, I'm going to right click here and go properties of this field. And as you can see here, I have an option says limit to the list. So I will just make sure that this is yes. That means the user cannot type its own code. The user has to select from this list, okay? And we need to place, of course, evidence of all of this. First of all, the drop-down menu list evidence of the drop-down menu. So I'll go form view, check like this, and I'm going to select this part like this here. This is a drop-down menu, and this is evidence number 18. So say evidence 18, and this is your drop-down menu. Just push it down there as well. Fix the spelling, and not too big, not too small. So make it a little bit acceptable here. This is the first one, and the drop-down menu label with the text fully visible. We have done this. Uh, Data entry control, so that only the unique values are listed, and that entry controls to limit it. So we need to go design view now, and again I'm going to go properties, which is here, and very importantly to show that the source is nationality and the list is coming from the ISO and it's limited. So I'm going to take a screenshot of this area here up to limit to the list. Just make it bigger so everything appears. Give me a second here. Yes, so I need everything to appear and limit to the list. So up to here is good. Okay. Close this guy, and we place it here as well. And the controls applied to save the select options in the nationalities is already there. As you can see here, the control is here, the selection is here, and this is the list. So now this is an acceptable evidence now. Okay. Number 19, we use the form to edit it in 18 to add the following details. So we need to add this in the form. And to add anything to the form, I need to go back again into form view, and I need to go down there for a new record. Okay. And I'm just going to copy and paste them one by one. Okay. And the last one is this one here. Okay, now we have a new record. I can just save to make sure that it will be saved in the table. And we check the errors. Place in your evidence document a screenshot of the form with the new record displayed. So now just make sure that nothing is being great. So I'll take a screenshot showing this area here, and I'll place it under evidence number. This is the same evidence. This is evidence 19. So I'll type here evidence 19, and I'm going to place it here. So let me push the evidence down there as well. Okay, and this is evidence 19. I just resize it from down here, and this is good. Okay,